had the rumors, we got the casting announcements, and now we have the set photos. And first and foremost, well, we got a picture of Nick Frost as Hagrid. And to be completely honest, when a lot of people seen that photo, I think that was their expression as well. And honestly, like, it was always going to be an uphill battle for Nick, because he's going to be following on from, the legendary performance from Robbie Coltrane, and he's always just going to end up getting discount Hagrid, Tesco Rubius. He's going to have to work exceptionally hard to beat all of those accusations. And honestly, for as much as he's looking forward to this performance, I'm also, because I really want the series to be good, okay? And when I see a lot of these announcements, because to be completely honest, man, like, I have my reservations about an American Dumbledore, and given the fact that the rest of the cast is from the UK, that one really does stick out on top of, the overall specter of Black Snape over the top of this, which, yeah, okay, like, it could end up messing up one storyline, one fairly significant storyline, and depending on how much they want to lean into what they're doing with, Hermione, and all we've seen from her so far is just the one picture, and it's like, it could be fine. It could just be one of those things where, yeah, they were the best actors or actresses for the role, and in the case of Hermione, it could have good chemistry with, Ron and Harry. I could believe that. I could definitely believe that. And when it's all said and done, they are kids. I don't really want to go too hard on them for sure. I definitely want to give them the benefit of the doubt. It's just, there really is no excuse for Black Snape. And well, it's really a lot to overcome, but god damn it, man. I really want this to be good. I want this to be good mostly because this is, like, it's such a landmark series for a multitude of reasons, because Harry Potter, for, most of the people of my generation, one of the most significant entertainment franchises, full stop. Prior to the MCU, the most successful cinematic franchise up to that point. And for the most part, those 8 movies, they're all pretty good. And now this is honestly, like, the first time that I can think of, like, yeah, okay, you did have different versions of said characters, but doing a full-on high-budget remake like this for something so beloved, so successful with the original adaptation, and then running it back again with more long-form storytelling, like, you kind of got it. You got a little bit of it. You got a taste of it with the prequels, the Star Wars we're talking about here, where you had the voice for James Earl Jones for Vader, and you had David Prowse inside the costume, and then he brought it back to the prequel era, and he had, of course, Jake Lloyd, but more famously Hayden Christensen. And then instead of Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan, you had Ewan McGregor. So it's similar-ish, but this is the first major production where we're seeing something that just looks so eerily familiar. And we also know that, yeah, this is also going to be shot at a lot of the sets that they had for the old movies. So I like this idea in premise, okay? Because there was only so much of the story that you could tell for each individual book in a 2.5 hour long movie. And in the case of, Deathly Hallows, 2 movies, and you still ended up missing, mostly because of the other movies, not including other important plot lines. But for a multitude of reasons, including just for the show itself, I really want this to be good. Because if we're going to be stuck, okay, instead of just this idealistic interpretation of what we want out of Hollywood, oh, they should have new ideas, they should, do this, that, and the third. But in actuality, man, okay, there's way too much money on the line for a bunch of this stuff. The people are way too hesitant to try anything new. So if it's just going to be going through the remake and reboot cycle, I would at least want it to be good. I would want it to have a different slant on things, or if you're going to tell a story, you're going to tell a more faithful story, a more book accurate story. That could be great. The movies are still going to be the movies. They're still going to be out there. They're still going to be great, or they're going to be good to great, depending on the film that's out there. It's just, this can be a different take. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings, how a lot of the characters are very different in the books, and there are quite substantive changes in the movies, and I wouldn't change either for the world. I just kind of hope that's what we get with this TV series, because I haven't read any of the books for Harry Potter, okay, but I have watched the movies quite a few times, and seeing stuff like this, even, goofy Hagrid, which, yeah, it's not exactly a flattering picture, okay, and we actually got, the full picture that's down there, and honestly, the costume work is pretty on point. I do like it, and obviously, like, yeah, it's gonna be set in the time of the 90s England, okay, because that's when, early 90s was the time frame that J.K. Rowling set the world in, and yeah, it definitely is evoking member berries that don't know how well detailed Hagrid is in the books, but he kind of looks like Ozempic Robbie Coltrane if we're gonna keep it a buck. But also, for people just looking at that going, oh geez, that's yeah, that looks like a knockoff groundskeeper if I've ever seen one. It's like you can see the trailer in the background. It's not exactly the most flattering lighting. The color correction hasn't been applied or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt. And again, like I thought it was good casting when it was announced, and it still is at this point in time. And yeah, we actually got more casting on top of it, filling out a bunch of the other secondary characters as well. And once again, man, really good casting, and you got some really good actors. Well, I can speak for one. The other three, like, I don't know any of that. I don't know how much work Rory Wilmot has got before he got casted as Neville Longbottom. That would be, the kid right up there in the top left-hand corner, which, again, you're really evoking those cinematic interpretations. I don't know how close they were from the books, but yeah, trying to get real close. And Amos Kitson as Dudley Dursley. Oh, they cast the aunt. Did they cast the uncle? Can't remember. I would imagine they have at this point in time, but yeah, Louise Brealey as Madame Rolanda Hooch. That would be the flight instructor. Which is so funny, right? Because they also got a chick who has, really short, spiky hair, just like she was in the first few movies. And then, of course, probably the big casting that's right there, which is like perfect stuff. Once again, you got Qyburn, or one good thing that, Star Wars has put out in, well, its entire Disney stewardship. Got Partagaz himself. Anton Lesser running it back as Ollivander. I mean, that's, again, a really good pull. Because what little I know about what got left out of some of the books was Ollivander has a much bigger role to play, more than he's just simply, the wand chooses the wizard, Harry. And be on your way, we'll see you in a few books' time. No, he's a little bit more involved, should we say. So yeah, more Anton Lesser, the better for everybody involved. And again, like, you just look down that list of actors that they're pulling in, it's really evoking a lot from the movies, not just from the casting itself. It's just, you're getting some really talented people, and this has the potential to be really goddamn good, okay? Now that we're starting to get some more information on this, like, yeah, production is now underway. It wasn't just, Hagrid turning up one day with, Nick Frost had a big old green coat. I don't know, we got cameras rolling, and they're eyeing a 2027 release date, and it's like, okay. And this is one of those pictures which I don't want to be too terribly hyperbolic. Let's get the one that I seen first thing in the morning. That's going to be, if this series is as good as promised, that's going to be one of those do you remember when type pictures when that thing went out there. Like, that's obviously going to be changing Dominic McLaughlin's life, and like forever intrinsically. It's like when we first got the picture of Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and Daniel Radcliffe together. Was that for the logo reveal? It might have been for that, but yeah, I still remember that trailer when it came out. But that right there, it's going to be iconic. Again, I just hope that it's a good series. I really want it to be good, man. HBO's Harry Potter TV series, the long-awaited and much-hyped return of J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, because, yeah, God, Deathly Hallows 2 was, 14 years ago to the day. Wow. I went to the midnight release of that. Anyways, has officially started production at Warner Brothers Studios Leavesden in a UK. Almost 14 years to the day for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 concluded Harry's journey to the big screen. Yeah, film that would go on to make, $1 point some odd billion? And still in 2025, 14 years later, still don't have a movie, at least at time of recording. It looks like Lilo and Stitch probably over the weekend will crack $1 billion, but at time of recording, we still don't have one in 2025. The show has also revealed a first look at Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter, smiling in costume with the character's signature round glasses and school uniform. Oh yeah, right, I guess I didn't really talk about this, but he looks exactly like the illustrations that are on the front cover of a few of the early editions of Philosopher's Stone. Like, that's, again, it's perfect casting. Outside of Black Snape, like, the fuck is going, man, it still just sticks out so dramatically when everything else is so on point. The show Oh yes, joined by Arabella Stanton as Hermione Granger and Alistair Stout as Ron Weasley. The young trio were selected from more than 30,000 actors, yes, who auditioned in the casting call last fall. New casting announcements on Monday include Rory Wilmot as, yes, Neville Longbottom, Amos Kitson as Dudley Dursley, Louise Brealey as Madame Rolanda Hooch, and Anton Lesser as Garrick Ollivander. The series has also been confirmed to debut in 2027 on HBO and HBO Max where available, which that's interesting, right? Because God, how does that affect House of the Dragon season 3? How does that affect any of those, A Song of Ice and Fire shows that are out there? Because we were supposed to be getting the Hedge Knights series. It was supposed to be starting up towards the tail end of this year, but it ends up getting pushed to 26. So what are we going to, be double bagging dragon stories? Is that what we're going to be doing in 2026? Because this show, it's going to be huge. Its debut is going to just absolutely dwarf the rest of the competition. And if it's good, and if it hooks people, it has the potential to be the biggest show on Earth. I'm not being hyperbolic, man. I'm not underselling how popular Harry Potter is. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Please, for the love of God, nail this. It's not that difficult, man. You have the source material right there. It's beloved. Follow the fucking books. Led by showrunner Francesca Gardner and director Mark Mylod of Succession, HBO's new take on the beloved book-turned-movie franchise, will follow the young Potter as he discovers he's a wizard. You're a wizard. No, I'm not a fucking wizard. Oh, Hagrid, I'll set your fucking beard on fire. Leaves a muggle family behind. He has to start off to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I can already see the first episode playing out in my mind how, right at the end, you're just going to have the reveal of Hogwarts as everybody's, just rowing up on the boats right at the end, and then it'll just hit with the theme at the end. It's it could be so great, and I really hope it is. But yeah, he befriends Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, and then in the 4th season, he'll start to battle Voldemort. Because the end of the first season's, spoilers, I guess, kind of faces off with Voldemort-ish, sort of, maybe, depending on how you want to really frame it. Yeah, it doesn't really get run back until Order of the Phoenix, huh? Sorry, not Order of the Phoenix. Goblet of Fire. My shit mixed up. It's just, can we find a way to bring back the Twilight Kid to just knock him off again? I know that people really like Robert Pattinson nowadays, but he's always going to be the sparkly vampire to me. Elsewhere, yes, John Lithgow will play Albus Dumbledore. Janet McTiernan is a Minerva McGonagall. Paapa Essiedu, yes, is Snape. And Nick Frost is Hagrid. Other names included Catherine Parkinson as Molly Weasley. Lox Pratt as Draco Malfoy. Johnny Flynn as Lucius Malfoy, Leo Early as Seamus Finnegan, Alessa Leone as Pavarti Patil, Sienna Musa as Lavender Brown, and Bertie Carvel as Cornelius Fudge. All right. Oh, they did cast the Dursleys. My mistake. Yeah, Belle Powley and Daniel Rigby as Petunia and Vernon, respectively. Each of the 7 Harry Potter books will make up an entire season. Variety understands that shooting in season 1 is expected to last until spring of 2026, with season 2 then going into production after a short break. Yeah, that's the best way that you need to do this stuff. Yeah, probably back to back. That's probably about the most that you can get around, especially with, regulations of using so many child actors. Yeah, there's probably quite a few hoops that you need to jump through on this one in order to, have a smooth production process, but then also follow some of the laws and regulations that are in place. Understandably so. There's a lot of young lives on the line on this one, and a lot of young lives that are going to be dissected by a bunch of fucking weirdos that are out there. Because, yeah, for as much as, Black Snape and all that stuff, it's the kids, they look great in their roles. Hopefully they're phenomenal actors and actresses that'll just go ahead and blow the roof off of the expectations. It's just, if you've been around the Harry Potter fandom since its inception, you know that it's a very eclectic and special group of people. So if they aren't good, or if they show any signs of deviating from what their headcanon is, oh boy, this is gonna get... If you think the people that hate on Disney Star Wars are aggressive, brother, you ain't seen nothing yet. But we got a couple of years to prep on this one, which, holy Christ, man, that's wild to think about. But it all begins. It all begins today. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.